Mary are here in the studio with us today on Love and Sex 3.0. You want to say hello to the people?
Hello. It's so good to be here again.
God bless you, viewers. Thank you for having us. And please invite your friends. Share this link everywhere. We trust God that God has something to bless your heart. So let's discuss.
All right. And of course, I'm not alone. My co-host, my sister, my friend is here. Titi Layo, True Love Expression, giving it to us hot. Conversation.
Yes.
So you know that when we have Titi, it has to be hot.
Hey, we are hotter people in here today. Let's go.
And just before we dive in, let me also say that next Sunday is our Q&A. So if you have a question about everything we've talked about this month or any in life, love, relationship, please throw in your question. We have a WhatsApp line on Facebook. Just send your question through that WhatsApp line and we will, by the grace of God, deal with the question as much as we can. All right, let's try. Do a little bit of recap. We've talked about sex, differences of what sex means to a man, what it means to a woman. We asked one very controversial question at the beginning, talking about whether sex is overrated. And there were a lot of responses. Even after we went off, and people kept sending me messages about sex being overrated or not. It kind of was like a debate now between men and women. A lot of men said it wasn't overrated. A lot of women said it was overrated. Okay, another conversation. We've talked about what it means to a man and what it means to a woman. We've talked about differences, so killers of sexual urges, and a lot of things were mentioned. Sister Sarah was there last week and she gave us a very, very comprehensive list. Medications, from medication to personal hygiene, habits, and stuff that can, kill sex in the bedroom. I'm just doing a bit of a recap for those who might be joining us for the first time. Like I said, please go and watch the previous edition. If you have missed any one of them, it's been power-packed. Let's push. Man of God, I want to start with talking about sex and intimacy. You know that, I know you're a reverend, and Sister Mary is a pastor. And our churches, they shy away from all this kind of conversation. This is why we are having it on this platform. In some churches, we are in fact, last Sunday, we had someone who called my husband and was like, Reverend, hey, you were so raw. Reverend Oko Joseph was one of the guests last Sunday. Reverend, hey, you're a man of God, though. Please, what has being a man of God got to do with it? Everybody is doing this thing. Why is it that people don't like talking about it? Okay, anyways, let's talk about sex and intimacy. What is the difference? Is it really different? Are there similarities? When we talk about sex, are we talking about intimacy? When we talk about intimacy, are we talking about sex? Let's start from there.
Okay, I'll begin by saying, if you can reach that person who talked about Reverend Oko, please tell the person to be online right now. He's about to hear more and I guess deeper. Sex and intimacy. Okay. My view is that they can be same, but they are different.
Okay.
Sex isn't intimacy. Intimacy is more than a sexual experience. That you can get intimacy in a sexual experience. God's idea of what sex is.
Reverend, cool down. Take it again. So intimacy is what? It's more than
intimacy. Yes, it's deeper than just a sexual experience. That you can get intimacy in a sexual experience. So it can be intimacy can stand on its own without sex. So it's possible to be intimate to somebody without sex at all. But the idea of God and the beauty of how God created sex was that for all the kinds of intimacy you want, sexual experience is supposed to be the climax of it all.
Okay.
So they are different, but they are also same, or rather can be same, in that you achieve sexual or achieve intimacy in sex. But you tried to say something in the beginning. I wanted to touch that when you talk about why some people are not comfortable with the conversation, why some people would say, "Oh, you're a pastor, you're talking about this," whereas everybody does it, everybody know about it, everybody's experiencing it. I think it's just a cultural thing, and the type of religion we used to have, we were taught that was so private. And while we were dying in the other part, we couldn't talk about it. It's called religiosity. That in this generation, we're taking the marks off. We're unmarking it. The church is waking up to the reality of the society, of what life is, of the fullness of the gospel, which includes sex.
Fullness of the gospel. Hallelujah. Oh, man of God. I've gone into the spirit. Okay, let me come back. Sister Mary, it says the fullness of the gospel. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is, because God ordained sex, so it's part of the package. Okay. It's a full package. So for me, yes, I think I would stand on what he has said already. I agree with all he has said. I see sex as a department of intimacy, meaning there are different things or different aspects to intimacy. So there's a sexual part, the physical intimacy, emotional intimacy, we can categorize intimacy into different, so sex is just one part of it. It's possible for people to have sex and really don't know each other. They're not connected emotionally. Do you understand? So we cannot say they are intimate. So sex is just one aspect of being intimate. But is sex important when it comes to marriage? When we are talking about marriage now, it's actually key. It's like the icing on the cake. It seals it up.
Is the ororo, is the oil, is the garnishing of the cake, is the packaging that makes the content original.
There's no jollof rice without the tomato.
Without those toppings. But permit me, Crusader, to emphasize this. I believe we would have talked about it before now. First of all, I'd like our viewers to understand that God did not plan for anything sex without intimacy. So it means that in God's original dictionary, sex is the final episode of intimacy. Therefore, every sexual experience with someone else that is not in marriage, please, you are having sex. The type we're talking about is called love making.
Yeah.
You make it. It's a process of making love. So you don't have that with casual person, someone you don't know, someone on the street. It was originally designed for the marriage setup where love is involved and people can make it, can use their hands like God created all the things he created in Genesis and create the intimacy, create the ecstasy, the experience together.
Okay, man of God. So, Sister Titi, you have something to say first before I continue, because something's going in my mouth.
They have said it all. In fact, they have said it all. I'm taking notes,
You are taking notes.
Oh yes, because there's revelation that is being.
So, sex is the climax of intimacy. Now,
yes.
I think this is also the reason, and I'm coming back to something we have talked about. The reason why it feels like for some people they easily get into sex, for some people they don't. I don't want to use the male-female thing, because sometimes it looks like for a man, whether the intimacy is there or not, a man can just do this thing, but a woman needs to be connected. So are we saying that intimacy is more important to a woman than a man when it comes to sex?
Well, because of the way we've been configured, it may look like it, but it's not true. It's not true. Intimacy is also important to a man, and it's also important to a woman. But you know, the female gender are more expressional. They are more emotional. The guys are more logical. So to a woman, it looks like because we are logical, we are not deep. But we have depth in what we want to do. Now, for both genders, the process of achieving intimacy differs.
Okay.
The time required, the processing period, the materials required differs. For a man can just begin intimacy from look. Everything, he's beginning to picture things and all of that. A woman don't get there at all. There's no looking that attracts her. It begins with her mind, her soul.
We're talking about look, because yes, we've heard this severally. Men are moved by what they see and stuff like that, right? Isn't that being shallow? Is that really intimacy? When
very shallow.
By the boobs and the bum, is that really? Do you really know this person? Because for a man, sometimes from what we are hearing or what we always hear is men get turned on by what they see. Okay. So, is it that somebody who is turned on by just what he sees, can we really say he's intimate to that person?
No. And that's why I tried to lay a foundation to say our conversation here is on the context of marriage. The foundation is that sex is built for marriage. And so when you see any other lady, every other lady outside your home should be a man to you. And God does not permit homosexual. And so you may see them, but that did not arouse any other feeling apart from sin and moving on. But in a marriage setting, the same thing works. For a man, intimacy for him begins. He's already married to you, so he's already, in quote, intimate with you. He's already in love with you. He already knows you. So those foundations have checked. The next thing is that he wants to see something good, man. I see this is one part. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not attacking the men folk, and I'm not trying to attack you. I would like everyone to comment on this. Do we not have married people who are not intimate?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I just saying, well, you people are married, so you know, you already know.
So many.
I've heard in my small counseling sessions, some of them
many are married.
They don't know each other. There's no friendship. There's no. You get what I mean? So I even used to wonder sometimes, how do these people get to the sex level? Because the husband and wife that don't play, they don't sit on each other, they don't laugh with each other, they don't hold hands. How do they do? People should help me. I don't know. How do they connect when it gets to the bedroom?
Okay. Truly, there are so many married people that are not intimate. And it's not just in marriage it started. It's before they got married.
Okay.
So the issue of intimacy begins before you even say, I do. The connection should be deeper than sex. So I think background or maybe peer influence, I don't know what they teach so many people. They just believe once sex happens, don't worry, there'll be a connection. And once you have that mentality, you will ignore like I said, intimacy is an department. You will ignore every other aspect, every other forms of intimacy. You will not think about the emotional part. Like personally, at times when I want to really feel connected to my husband, just hug, a simple hug can just be it for me, not even sex. I don't even want it at that time. Just hug. So understanding yourself, and a lot of people need to start with understanding themselves, what intimacy really means, and delete this ideology of it's just about sex. No, sex is the end point. But before we get there, what is the process? What's the quality of the process? So truly, a lot of people are married, they're having sex, they don't know each other, They are disconnected emotionally, physically, spiritually, intimacy. There are so many other things to talk about here.
Thank you, Mama.
So it begins before they say I do. Understand yourself. What other form? How can I know this person or connect to this person? How can I get this person thinking of me without sex?
Okay.
If not, you just be like every other girl on the street or every other guy you meet randomly.
Okay.
All
right. So
sorry, Crusader, you asked a question. You asked a question that I have a very brief answer for.
Okay.
You said there are some people who are married, no connection, and all of that. And the question is how can they even have sex? You cannot imagine it. My answer will be, please invite them. This couple, we don't know that part.
I want Sister Titi to comment on something because she's a lady. Okay, she's a lady, and Sister Titi, Pastor Mary just mentioned something now about the fact that sometimes all she needs is a hug. Okay, I've had a lady ask me this question before, and she said, "Is it really possible for a husband and wife to just sit, hug, just hold themselves, or even maybe massage? You know, sometimes I just want a massage, but the person who is giving me massage is looking for an end result or a thank you, a kind of reward at the end of So, is it really possible for a couple to be that kind of intimate without it leading to sex? I'm not talking about, people who are still dating and they are trying to be holy and keep themselves. But as married people, can we really be that intimate
unkept
without the thing, All right, tell me, Titi, what do you think?
I think that just like everybody has been saying, there's different levels to this thing, And let me just quickly chip in to say that it all boils down to our differences, right from the beginning of time till the end of time, men and women will always be different, and it is intentional. God did it like that intentionally.
Yeah.
So that we'll understand God's sovereignty. No one will accrue excellence or power to themselves and say, I have it all. The woman is very smart. She's more in tune. She's more emotionally intelligent than the man. The man is very logical, which helps a great deal because every time you can't apply emotion to everything that you do, So it all boils our differences, right? But so it depends. What turns me on would not be what turns him on. So for him, it may be looks, For her, it may be money.
Yeah.
She just measures something.
So there's nothing shallow. My point is, there's nothing shallow about it. If you are turned on by looks, it's okay. If it is money that is not, it is all right. But we all know as spiritual people that there's ought to be some balance to this thing, and that's what guides everybody. So nothing is shallow. If it is money, if they're just spraying the money like this,
you're like, whoa. You have not answered my question. My question,
okay, what's the question?
I'm asking you is it possible, for example, you
and
your husband, you will just stay in the house this afternoon? Children are not at home, nothing, just maybe Netflix and chill kind of situation, and you just chill without sex. That's the question.
I think the answer I'll say to that is it can be possible. It can be possible.
Okay.
Because again, it's all about understanding. One party thinks, oh, everything must end in sex. The other party feels it must not end in sex. When both of you are aware of each other, you can concede. Sometimes you don't want it to end in sex, but you can concede. At other times, you want it to end in sex. The other person doesn't want. You can concede. So it's being aware of each other. Pastor Mary was talking about knowing yourselves. Most people are not aware of who they are. They end up marrying and there's confusion.
As the
You know,
beginning
so
of
it
the
is
problem
possible.
of intimacy.
Yes. So intimacy is possible without ending it. Just like everybody has been saying, there are different levels to this thing. You know, so there are different levels of intimacy. So you don't have to climax at sex all the time. But there are times too where you don't have to want it. It's all about service. Is it not service? You are serving the other person. So what are we talking about here? If the other person wants it, fine. And if the other person does not want it sometimes, come on now. Come on.
Okay. All right. Pastor Steve, as a man, do you agree that there can be a time when that happens and it doesn't end in sex? Very good example, massage. Because I don't know whether there's any man that can just do that oil and all the rubbing and all the oiling and it will not end in. Is it really possible? Are there men who are so self-controlled?
It's not about self-control.
Amen.
It's not about self-control.
No. It's not about self-control.
Okay,
I said it's about confession. It's about confession.
Okay, so this will be my view as a man. This will be my view as a man.
Tell me.
If you have fed us well, because when they say that the way to a man's stomach, food is the way, or the stomach is the way to a man's heart, I've sat down to review that statement and I discovered that it is true. It's just that our fathers did not tell us that the stomach is connected to the other part. Because for us, that side is also food. Now, you know, it's possible to meet a lion and it wouldn't hunt because it's full. But it's not possible to starve a lion and ask it not to hunt. So on behalf of the brothers, we understand with our sisters that there are times that all you just need is a hug and the church can close and it's fine. We seriously understand with you. But can we have that as a second course meal, please?
How do you understand? How do you understand? Show us that you understand.
So where's the understanding here that
the understanding is before you get to this kind of mood.
Before you say you should massage you.
Satisfy the other things. And then we can be holy. We can massage and leave you in peace. But anyway, that's just on a lighter mode. The truthful answer is yeah. And I'll tell you why so many ladies will have this kind of question in their marriage. It's because we have suddenly made this part of our life less conversational for even couples.
Yeah.
So we want to marry prophets in our homes, soothsayers, especially for the woman. You want someone who can just look at you and understand that all she wants now is just a tap on the back and she's fine. And forgive me, we are husbands, we are not God. And we're not going to take the place of God in your life. God knows what you have not even thought of.
Yeah.
He's omniscient. We are not. We are omni-knowledge. We want to know.
Okay.
So in the event that for whatever reasons, what you need does not get to sex, I believe that every married man is an intelligent adult who is considerate and who would have, by conversation, where his wife speaks to him and say this, and we'll give you that food matter. We'll get the urge, but God will help us control ourselves. That's where she's going to. God will help us control ourselves. We'll try. And anytime we do not succeed, not for lack of trying.
Speaking on behalf of all the men here.
All the men.
Okay, thank you, Pastor, for being very, very sincere. And I like the fact that you said what you said about the conversation, because that is me. Usually, I always start with, please, I need a massage. And I don't have any thank you. That kind of thank you. I'm going to give a very verbal thank you in English, not in kind. You will take your thank you in words before we start so that we draw up an agreement. Do you understand what I mean?
Wonderful.
So there's
no flow. There's no flow with that. That's mechanical. You're taking away the moral from me.
No. I'm
On
saying
There
that
are times for that.
for that time.
There are times
that I
in a
don't
man's
want
life
it. But
when
there
he
are
does not follow
other
the
times
truth.
when I can say, just please, can you give me a massage? And I don't put that condition. So at that
Meaning
time,
you wanted to get somewhere.
at that time, the door is open and you can do it.
Eventualities can happen.
The time you can
See
be
what
bold.
civilization have done to us.
Me, I have learned not
You say
to
we should-
put agreement in the matter. Do you understand? No
Nani,
agreement.
Thank you.
I will
Just
try
allow
this
You
the
have
night.
you,
I will
you
try
know-
it this night.
listen to the voice of Ella.
It took me a while to come to that understanding, and everything is in the mind. Is in the mind of for most women, because most times you just say, is it food? Is it this? Is it that? Sometimes I tell myself, yes, it is food.
Thank
I am
you.
hungry. Somebody is hungry.
Yes.
That's the mindset that will liberate most women. So that you don't
Yes.
begin to see this thing as a chore. Just most times I always say, put yourself in the position of the other person. Let's imagine this is a Louis Vuitton bag that you have been eyeing, and you have the money to buy it. So why are you not buying it? Do you understand? So see it as that Gucci thing that you want to get, or that trip that you want to make, and the money is available, and you are saying no, we cannot go. Does that make sense? So it's all in the mind. If you have that mindset, you would be more. It might not happen all the time, but you'll be more willing. You'll be more relaxed. It won't be Do you understand? So that's the
it's
mindset.
like every man needs a titi in their house. Hey.
Most times no.
May the Lord God bless
problem is
you.
that we don't understand. We don't understand we don't even understand what's going on with us. So how can we even come to that level? So sometimes these things take time. But when you have that understanding, it's like liberation for yourself, because you have peace for yourself. You're not always angry, or I don't know. It's just liberating.
Yeah, I agree with you. But when my food is just the hug at that moment, must we now have my food and his food
Again,
together?
we go back to
it must just jam
It
together.
must not happen all the time, but it is safer, or it's better to have that mindset.
And that's why I put the conversation in the middle.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like for men to turn on a woman, we understand that she's not just a generator, you just come and draw. Even generator, you check oil.
Let me tell them.
So the process begins not at the bed, it begins from the activities in the day.
Yes,
so you try to set the table. He prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemy.
Yeah.
There's a preparation.
Okay.
So you prepare her mind, you prepare her soul, you can even prepare her account.
Exactly.
For what is about to come.
I want to ask a question. And this question is for all, because it's answering on behalf of the men. That I know that it's preparation and everything, but sometimes that preparation, because most times everybody say start in the morning, something that's going to happen at night. Is it not exhausting sometimes?
Who said it must happen at night, sir?
Whatever, but it's like start 24 hours before, or start. I'm like, sometimes it's not easy to be a man.
Is it time for men?
That's my question.
Anybody who is advising and saying 24 hours or giving time to it, that's not the idea. The idea is don't just jump on your woman.
Make it exciting.
Create an atmosphere. It's an atmosphere. That's why when we go to church, sometimes we do praise worship before we hear the word. Why is it necessary? We're just setting a tune, an atmosphere where the word can fall in place.
There'll be expectation.
So create an atmosphere, understanding that she's an emotional, intelligent being, not just a physical being. So you need to create an emotional atmosphere where she's receptive to what you want to get.
I receive.
You can never be tired. It's you that want to get something. You want to share what God wants you to share. So just be intelligent and be good at it.
Speak the word.
I'm liking all of the ideologies about preparation, especially the one of Pastor Figure example, even back account. You know,
Yeah.
some alerts that you will receive.
I was not serious.
Okay.
You were giving example.
I hold on to that.
Don't take it back now. I'm already praising you. Don't take it back.
My brothers are sending me message. They are angry.
I hold on to that.
Children
I
of God.
receive it to Thanksgiving.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. That's a very good preparation. I don't think there's anyone on this earth that will not like that preparation. That should be a very good preparation for any woman. Back a lot, back when the thing hit like this.
I'm everything, man.
Mighty name. Give the man mighty name like this. And let's move on. If not, we'll be here 2 hours.
We must not emphasize that part.
Let's move on.
Because there is paid sex outside.
Eh?
There is paid sex outside.
Of course.
I must not tell
we talked about that last week, and I said it very clearly to the women. You know, there are some women who will say, at that point in time when the man wants the thing, you now remind him, you said you were going to buy me wrapper, you did not buy. And you said this, we are not a prostitute. We don't need that. I'm not asking him to pay before sex. But we're only saying that, you know, it's not, there's nothing
bad. The process.
There's nothing
the process.
You know, if this gifting is what your woman likes, give her the gift now to make her mind to be sweet. Especially
when you have it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you can afford it, if you can afford it, there are a lot of men paying nonsense money to small girls out there, you know. So exactly. And the same thing you are getting in the house. There's nothing wrong in appreciating this woman financially if you can afford it. But we are not saying any woman should make money
priority.
A condition. Okay, so you did not give me money yesterday, now you want this. No. At that point, you are not behaving like a prostitute. And you cannot be a married prostitute. Not necessary. Not
beautiful balance.
At all. So yeah, we will, because we already said that last week. That's why I didn't mention that. Let's try and move on. Let's talk about sexual incompatibility. What does it mean?
I love this one.
When we say people are not sexually compatible, first of all, let's break it down. What does it mean? Sister Titi, go on. She raised her hand. Go on.
I have to go first. I have to go first on this one. I love this one because there's so much misconception, and that's one of the things that's holding so many people down.
All right.
You know, a lot of people feel, you know, that analogy of you're going to buy a car, you need to test it. You know, what if it's not a good one? What if, and all of that? That is the actual problem most people are facing. Do you know that in the real sense, there is no such thing as sexual incompatibility? There's nothing like that. There's nothing like sexual incompatibility. In the original plan, and I mean God's plan, you are not supposed to know each other sexually. That was God's original plan. You are not supposed to know each other. So you don't need to know, sleep with the person sexually. Marriage is supposed to, that sex was kept in marriage to bring you together and bind you together. You are supposed to explore each other sexually in marriage. So when you begin to look for sexual incompatibility, you are confusing yourself, you know. So you now go out there and start testing. You test the one that will carry you up and down. You test the one that will put you on fan and roll you. By the time you now get into marriage, your eyes have opened. You know how Adam, this marriage is like Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden. When God says, don't eat that fruit. Did you understand this? And that's the confusion in the world right now. The same thing with sex. God says, no sex before marriage. People still don't understand this, and they still go ahead and eat that fruit. You know, so that's just the whole idea. So this issue of sexual compatibility, it ought not to be. You ought to find compatibility when you eventually get married. So you're looking for compatibility, and you see, okay, you're sexually compatible. What happens when you now get married and it's no longer happening like that anymore? So the point is there. the intimacy is not really the sex, it's everything that you have done to bring you to that point of sex. That's exactly how sexual incompatibility is. I rest my case.
Can I jump into the matter?
Please go on, sir.
You know, this is where I speak to people who are single. And if you heard when we were laughing, I talked about see what civilization has done to us. So I'll pick from where TT stopped. In God's original plan, the two people that are getting married are two virgins. I'll say it as it should be said, virgins. And if there are two novices who got married, please, where are we talking of compatibility or no compatibility? Those words do not exist at all. The reason why we're having such discussion in our current generation is because of the so much sexual decadence in the society. So before somebody gets married, he has explored so much that when he gets married, what he experienced with 20 girls, he wants one woman to give him.
Identity crisis.
What took 10 ladies to build in him, he now wants one woman to give or one man to give, and they start complaining, I'm not satisfied. I don't feel satisfied. The sex is boring. The sex is this. My dear, you're allowing him compete with your ghosts of the past. So that it doesn't sound like a hopeless situation. Peradventure, you're already at that point. We need you to first understand that you do not have a problem of sexual incompatibility. You have a problem of an unhealthy sexual appetite. That is not the fault of your partner, that you built in your past exploration, that you need God to deliver you from so that you can be sane and normal again.
Wow. Wow.
Your wow kept me quiet.
No, go on. I'm hearing a new angle to this totally today. So let's go on. I'm enjoying.
All right. Now, so such a person needs so much of God's word, the renewing of your mind, your refocusing on your partner. There is a part to it where I'll advise any of the partner who is marrying someone who already had these sexual experiences and all of that. You also need to now step up your game. Sex takes two. And none of this partner is supposed to be selfish. If intimacy is going to be in it. So both people must have a belief and understanding and something at the back of their mind that I'm in this for good and I want to satisfy my partner. And I'm going to go that route under all of God's guidance, not porn site, not what, like she said, someone rolling on the fan, but under the definition of healthy sexual limits. I'll do all I can to get my partner satisfied. That could help.
Okay, I'll just add to that, like advice to maybe couples who are still struggling with sex and all the expectations. Many come with very wayward expectations, probably from what they've experienced, what they've watched, especially those who have been given to pornography. They've seen all manner and all sorts, and they come with these strange expectations. And so they meet disappointment when the other person is not the person they are seeing in the porn side doing all of those stuff. So I would just tell you, number one, when you get married, you need to be patient with each other. Build, explore one another. It's just take it as, okay, this is a new field. You need to explore. Now, in doing that, with patience, like for me, when I got married, I knew I struggled. I sincerely struggled. At times I can just cry in the process.
Pastor daughter.
Sincerely. It made me cry. That's the truth. So the other person should be patient. Yeah. The other person should be patient to
like if you were beating her. Were you beating Pastor's daughter?
Were you beating me?
You made her cry. Her father was
That was her own way of showing intimacy.
It's not true. It was for me.
She was climaxing in tears.
No, it was for me. It was quite like painful and painful. I was really
that's
struggling.
the whole idea. You're supposed to build up these things together.
Build up together. If you're ahead, allow the other person catch up. Don't put pressure. A lot of couples, like when you do counseling, you discover that one partner is applying this undue pressure. And if you don't give me like this, I will go out and threatening and all of that. No. You are damaging, you're causing more damage when you go that route. So teach. If you are the experienced one, teach the other person gradually. And one day she will get there. Yes, she will learn. So it's a process. You can actually build up together. Give it time. You see very innocent virgins today, when they get married, and over the years, burning like wildfire. So they come back. Even you see the guys running away like, this our chemo. So allow time, take care of some of these things. The man, the lady can actually catch up. But understand that some of those things you watch too are not, I believe some are not real, some are on drugs, and some, that is not your husband or wife you are watching. Don't even watch it. So incompatibility, no, it's not really there.
I agree with your thoughts. I agree with your thoughts, and it's very beautiful. But I still want to bring a question from this angle, because yes, talking about people saying, oh, we're not sexually compatible might just mean that someone is being rigid and not ready to learn. Because like we're saying now, we teach each other, we learn, we grow together. We can even seek help, like a sexual therapist and all of that to help if need be. You know what I mean? But do we not have natural sex drives that can be different? Do we not naturally have people whose libido are strong, and then those whose libido are not? Do we not have that in existence?
Very true.
And if that is there, if I marry a man, for example, whose sexual libido is, I think for me, it's still a challenge. I don't know. I'm learning, I'm growing, but it's still a challenge. My husband came and told the world, announced to the world that he likes his thing every day. So I still have a challenge about it, because I've not been able to catch up with every day. I don't have the strength. I don't have the thoughts. So sometimes it doesn't even cross my mind. I'm sorry. As a person, if I were to leave myself, I could go days and not remember that this exists. If not that, I'm married.
You're one of the people that need prayers. No.
He's speaking for the man.
Let me speak. Let me sincerely say something. Sorry, ma. Sorry to cut you in here.
Yes,
you see, I have discovered in counseling and in relating with couples, most godly men who eventually have one or two errors. One of the things that brings it is this: when you're married, and I speak to the ladies here, please flirt with your husband. Look for it. Ask for the sex. Initiate it.
Suck the blood.
Wow.
Suck it, the blood. You engage him. Why? For most godly, God-fearing men, using that term, who finally have one or two drama outside, most of the time it is that lady was looking for him. Most of the side chicks everywhere. If you're married and there's any lady disturbing your husband, most of the time you have a good man, he's not the one disturbing her. She's pursuing him. And because when we get married, for the woman, they say you have settled down. It's a very, especially here in the African mentality, it's so painful, it's ridiculous. is annoying. So she settles down and she no more service find. Like you say, you can stay days and it doesn't matter anymore. For we men, when we get married, our libido and expectation increases. For the woman, once a child comes in, her concentration and libido begins to die. We must now strike a balance. And one of the easiest ways to strike a balance is what Titi said. Please, just every woman listening to me, sex is food to a man. So if you give him eba, tea and bread, egg, please add sex to the menu. We don't mind. For Rebenoko, it's every day. For some of us, it may be 3 times a week. For others, it may be once a week. Some may be once a month. They need prayer.
Or 3 times in one day.
Oh, God bless those ones.
Ah! They have come. Your
husband says be giving it to us every day. Advocate. I hope you have seen it.
Advocate 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, night, lunch, breakfast, and dinner. May the Lord have mercy.
It is well.
But I think, sorry, I think there should be a balance as well. There are women too that look for these things every day. So it's not just woman flirting with the husband.
Yes.
Husband flirt with your woman, because I know that married women too that find this thing outside.
Yes.
There's somebody that flirts with them that actually catches that they are more intimate with almost to that point. So they just need the opportunity. I think that's what is remaining for them. So please, while the women flirt with the men to do likewise. Because this one, everybody wants to remain on a seat of come and find me, flirt with me. It will not always work for every family. It's one,
I think I agree with her. I agree. Because if you come with that analogy of most godly men, what about the godly women? Do you think as I walk outside, people are not flirting with me? Do you
very
think
well?
Even if it's to go to the market, I don't see people complimenting me and giving me advice.
Hot babe like you, why not?
Yes, we all have these pressures happening at us. Life is happening to us every single day. We are all, whatever the man is experiencing outside, wherever it is that you say the man, that most of them, the godly men, they are there. The women come to look for them. The pressure is on them. The pressure is on me too as a godly woman. We are all feeling this pressure together. We are all just trying to respect ourselves. So everybody in their corner, everybody in their corner should do whatever they can to respect themselves. Respect the person you call spouse. Most times we don't do these things out of respect. It's not because the temptation is not there. It's not because sometimes you get carried away by compliments from people. And just like Pastor Mary was saying, there are women that they start building that intimacy with other people outside. All is left for them that opportunity. But and it happens to the best of us. But most times we respect ourselves. We respect the office of the spouse and respect ourselves and don't do this thing. So everybody in their corner should be respecting ourselves. Don't come and tell me that you're a godly woman, you're a godly man, you now stray, and it's because there's pressure on all of us, is my point.
I tell you, pressure day.
Thank you so much for stressing that point, because I remember one time I was speaking to some group of ladies and I said, you will never catch me. I'm not a woman that goes through my husband's phone. I don't go through a man's phone. I don't go through his documents. I don't go through his pockets. I'm not searching for nothing. Why? Apart from the fact that I'm very confident in myself by the grace of God as a woman, it is also that I know that what is holding me is my fear of God. And if this man cannot fear God, do you understand what I mean? If he too doesn't have the fear of God to be able to keep himself, the fear of comfort is not going to keep him. Yes. And this is what we must all understand for every one of us, because I don't follow you to work. I don't follow you anywhere. I don't know what you're doing there. And women who do this, they only end up killing themselves. I think we saw one that was chasing the husband and a side chick. She had an accident. She died. And I was saying, if not are dead, the husband and the side chick will continue. What was the essence of all those rubbish? There's no need. Marry a God-fearing man. Marry a God-fearing woman. Respect your spouse. Respect the vow you have made to this person. Because there's temptation everywhere. We all, both sides, face the temptation. No matter how ugly a woman is, even that one that you have kept in your house, maybe you are not let her go to market, you keep her as a housewife, she's dirty looking, she must have somebody that still like her. No matter how you think that man is, they say even a madman has his friends. No matter how nonsense you think that man is, there's one girl there that is wishing she had him. But we all must. How did Bible say? It said Daniel proposed in his heart.
Proposed in his heart.
That he will not
defile himself with the king's meat.
That is the word. So we all just have to respect ourselves, respect our spouse, respect our marriages, and don't come up with the excuse of, my wife did not do it well. Oh, and they did not, she did not bend, she did not give me this side, she did not do this style. That's why I went outside. Hello. You wanted to go outside before. Outside was hungry before. Whatever you are doing, order it. It's inside your house. With good conversation, good presentation, and preparation, like Pastor Steve has said. Thou preparest a table before me. I like that. I like that passion. Your okay.
Can I say something with that preparation thing? You see, in part of exploring or getting to know each other and learning from each other, I think the issue of sexual styles come in play, because you hear people say this person's not flexible, she's not doing this, cannot bend like this. Now find what style works for both the husband and the wife. And you're not trying to inflict pain, right? You're not trying to inflict pain, or it's not punishment.
Some people enjoy pain.
Well, no, when you know your spouse. No, when you know your spouse, you should know what they want. When you see somebody cry, you should find out, is it out of pleasure or out of pain? You should understand the difference.
Somebody crying, okay.
You should understand the difference. I know fire on until you are sure before she runs away one day. Anyway, so there are different styles. Explore it. Find out what are the different styles and what works. What do you prefer? What do you like? Anyone that is causing issues, and there are certain, you hear people tell you they have abdominal pain and all of that. You need to see a doctor when it gets to that point. So talk. What do you enjoy? What's your sensitive part? What turns you on? You have to just talk about these things. Please, you don't marry, don't see each other nakedness, finish. So talk about the rest. Why hold back? Okay, please help me interpret.
Oh my goodness, we're going to be here today. I totally agree with you. Communication is very key. It is key. Sisters, I'm going to talk to my sisters especially. You are married. There's no shame inside. There's no shame in telling this man, brother, I'm not satisfied. Instead of
carry his hand and to where you want it to go to. That time.
And be dying in silence. Please show him what to do, how you want to be satisfied, what helps you. Tell him, discuss these things so that brother can do better. There's no other man out there saying, maybe if to say that so and so person. If you don't tell that person too, the person will not know. So tell yourself, this is how I like to be loved. This is how you will touch me, that I will be on fire, you know. This is how you will do me, and the thing will now start doing me well, you know, so that both of you can enjoy it. Because I have said it, I think, since we started this conversation 3 Sundays ago, that if the two of them are enjoying it, then the incidences of headache will reduce. I have headache, leg is paining me, hand is paining me. All those excuses will reduce. It's because she's not enjoying it, brother. If your wife is always having headache, sit down with her.
You're always looking for escape. Always
get to visit her mother-in-law for months. She's running from you. The mother-in-law no call her. She's running away. ask her what is going on. Sit down, have the conversation, so both of you can enjoy it. Okay, one question. Hey, okay, I'm just going to put this out first for people. If you're still there, we want people to tell us the different names that they call sex around you. What have you heard? Now we have come to discover that some people don't want to call it sex, so they call it different names. Sister Titi, what is your own name that you know? Tell us.
If I tell you the name, sir, you will not even understand.
Sister Titi, tell us.
Wait. I think the different names people call sex, especially for married people, is within the prerogative of of both spouses. Because if a husband are saying calling sex something, you won't even know that that's what I'm calling it. You know, you'll be thinking
I'm not just talking about between husband and wife alone. I'm talking about generally now. For example, we are saying sex. Sex. People are feeling that. What did she call it? I want her to say because I've heard. I've heard that before. He says Boscoyo.
Do
to spell it. Boscoyo. That's our show, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching and for staying with us. I hope you've learned one thing or the other. If you have any questions, kindly send them across to us. And comments are still allowed. You can also watch this show after it's no longer live. It's always there on our channels. Feel free to subscribe. We are going to come your way again next week with another wonderful edition. Thank you so much for staying, and goodbye.